Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Kid Curry. I'm here with my buddy Chris Cornish, local pro motocross racer. He's out of Linwood, Washington, and he qualified for his first pro national at Washugal this year. How's it going, buddy?
It's going pretty good, man. Still riding that high.
Yeah.
It was definitely a dream come true, and
Dude,
want to keep the ball rolling.
Just to see you do that was a dream for all of us that grew up watching you ride. It's like anybody that's ever raced motocross has wanted to make that dream come true, and then to watch somebody that personally make it, it felt like you were. It felt like even myself, like I was a part of that. It was awesome. It was a magical day to see that.
Yeah, it was really awesome. It was super cool to do it at my home national, my second try ever trying to make a pro national, and to have all my friends and family there, all my supporters, everything. To do it in front of them was extra special.
Yeah, actually,
it was really cool.
There's a lot of people I saw posting videos all over Instagram and stuff like that for you, and mobbing up Horsepower Hill. It was hella cool.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. Yeah, I qualified 47th from practice, and obviously that's not good enough to make it into the motos, so I ended up in the LCQ and got a good start in the LCQ, came around the corner in 5th or 6th, and then honestly a couple people fell over first lap, and I know I was sitting pretty good and couldn't make any mistakes. I think that was probably the best race of my life. I made some quick passes and was riding around in 3rd. And
there was some definitely luck on your side, though. I don't know if you noticed,
sure.
I guess Jared Stanky had communication issues or something like that, and so he wasn't informed on when his moto was, so he missed the Constellation race.
I mean, we all get a sheet of paper saying when our motos are going to be, and everyone else made it on time. So,
and then I guess Blackburn had
mechanic
issue or something wrong with his bike. But that's what what it's gonna take to get there. Even the best guys, even the factory riders, they deal with shit like that all the time. So
yeah, it was kind of funny lining up for the first moto. Dean Wilson rolled up to staging late, and he forfeited his gate pick. He got last gate pick just because he showed up late. Yep, and he was pretty pissed. He was yelling at the AMA lady "Can't believe this, blah blah blah." And then Jason Anderson walks up and is kind of making fun of him for being late, and it was cool to be a part of that, that environment. And
I feel it, dude.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet.
So, let me ask you, what you raced amateur days, right?
Yeah, so I raced amateur days
the year before.
Yeah, I raced amateur days 2023 and 2022. 2022 didn't go too well. I got I think I got 5th or 6th the first day, and then second day I got landed on first lap.
Oh.
Yeah, so I got up and rode around and did what I could, but didn't really amount to much. And then I ended up scoring some Pro-Am points from that towards my pro motocross license. And then 2023 I did pretty good. I got 4th on Thursday and 5th on Friday, and that kind of stacked some points towards my motocross license. And I realized I was pretty close. I was about 20 points away. It takes 60 points total. So I went down to the Arizona Open and Thanksgiving MX down in Arizona. Was able to get 29 points.
More than enough right there.
More than enough, yeah. I ended up with 69 points out of 60.
Hell yeah.
And applied for my license, got it. Got a new number.
That's what's up.
Yeah,
that's your AMA national number?
That's my AMA national number. It's 356. It looks like 329 mirrored, vertically.
Yeah, because that's what you grew up always being, was 329.
Yep, and someone had it, so it was whatever. But
oh well.
Just a number.
Right?
Yeah.
So, what'd you do to get ready for Washugal?
To get ready for Washugal, I raced more local stuff than I have in years past. Just getting gate drops, trying to be comfortable in a racing environment, really. Because I never stopped riding, but racing every weekend, it gets old when you don't really have a big goal in mind. And so yeah, this year after getting my pro license, I used Hangtown as kind of a practice. So I went down to Hangtown for the second round of pro motocross, and didn't do too hot, but I got a day program under my schedule or under my belt, and was able to come into Washugal knowing what to expect and
Okay.
how everything worked.
All right. Do you train throughout the week? How many times do you ride?
No, I'm not able to ride very much throughout the week, just living on the west side of Washington and dealing with traffic everywhere you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I ride every weekend pretty much,
Okay.
every time I can, and then I'm working out every day.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
A lot of off-the-bike stuff. I've been working on a lot of technique the last year, and then now I'm able to apply that in a race setting and really
see it
drop
work
the
out.
hammer. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, let's see. How many times you rode Washugal? You said I remember you telling me 2 weeks prior.
Yeah, so they do a old timer national race at
Yeah.
Washugal, and that's the last time we're legally allowed to ride the national track.
Did you feel like that helped you out a lot?
Oh, that helped a lot,
Yeah.
yeah. Because they moved the starting gate forward 30 feet roughly, and then they put in starting grates for the old timer national. I think they're going to have starting grates at Washugal for all their amateur races from here on out, but practicing off the starting grate and riding the track and riding the track 2 weeks before at the Old Timer National definitely helped, because it was 3 motos on Saturday and 2 motos on Sunday, all
Okay.
20-minute motos, long races, good track time. I feel like that race allowed me to go into practice for the national ready to go. I
Okay.
knew the track, knew what to expect.
Was
And
it probably nearly as rough as
no,
what you dealt with?
Yeah, no, the national was the roughest I've ever seen Washugal, ever ridden Washugal, and
Dude, amateur days was just as
Yeah.
granted it wasn't pros, but I can't imagine what you dealt with, but I can't even remember a time I rode a track that rough.
no, it was pretty intense. I mean, Saturday morning of the pro national, they ripped the track, 8 to 10 inches deep, and then soak it, and it's this deep of mud. It's pretty unrealistic conditions to practice on, and you're trying to put in a qualifying lap in mud.
And you were in your first practice too.
Yeah, we were first practice on the track, which seems like it'd be awesome, but when it's
No.
conditions like that, it's so heavy.
Not
It's
at all.
impossible to go anywhere. And it's super challenging. I tipped over a few times in practice, just coming into a corner that you think is going to be tacky, and it's not at all. It's just mush, and you just stick and fall over. So it was pretty tough. Grips get all screwed up and everything, and bike weighs about an extra 40 pounds.
Right. I just remember finding you at your pit, and you just scraping mud off or whatever. That's all you can do at that point.
Mm-hmm. Trying to get the bike back to light, and not enough time to wash it in between practices. So
Right.
yeah,
So you placed 32nd Moto 1?
I placed 33rd Moto 1.
Okay.
Yeah,
What about Moto 2?
32nd,
32nd. Okay. So what'd you overall?
34th.
34th?
Yep. So
In your first pro fucking national.
first pro national. Yeah,
Damn.
I know. It was pretty sweet.
Savage.
Kind of a funny story was we get there Friday morning early, get parked and everything, and they do press day on Friday.
Yep.
And I went up to Mike Pelletier, the director of the AMA, and asked him how I could ride press day, and he said, "Oh, you gotta fill out an application, and without an application, there's no way you're gonna be able to ride press, and blah blah blah. I wouldn't count on it, and everything." And then, so I basically just got turned away immediately.
Yeah.
And then after the race, after I made the motos and everything, I went and returned my transponder, and he's standing right there. And I was like, "Hey, dude, made the motos, and made the motos for my first time. It was sweet, dream come true and everything." He's like, "Awesome, dude. That should help for press next year." And I was like, "Yeah, I guess you're right. Hopefully I don't even have to ask." That'd
Yeah,
be
especially
cool.
being a Northwest native right there.
Yeah, exactly. Being local, made it in the big show, and I feel like press day, even having that little bit of track time, is an advantage for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all those guys, they were ripping it right after all the amateurs got off. They didn't even touch the track, and they were just
They're-
destroying it even worse.
Exactly. They're just going for it,
Oh yeah.
So
So you did 2 practices, then the constellation race. How did you feel in the Moto 1?
well, after the consolation race, the LCQ, going full sprint, trying to get top 4 to make it into the motos.
Just
I was
dead.
a little beat. I was a little beat going into the first moto. I come back, I'm, over the moon about making it into the motos, and then you look at the clock and realize you have 12 minutes until you're supposed to be up at the gate. And
Oh my God.
And then it's, the longest moto of your life coming up. Biggest stage
God.
ever. You got 12 minutes to prepare. So I'm like...
And that's the big boy class too, 450s, not 250.
Yeah, exactly. So I did what I could. I changed my gear, I actually, another funny story, sitting on the starting line for the LCQ, I walk off to go take a piss, come back, and my bike is just sitting like this, it's just, my ass end is super low, and I'm like, all right, that's not right. So I look down at my shock, and like the set nut, like the keeper nut on top of your shock spring is backed all the way out. So my shock was just free spinning. Sag is pretty important on a bike to keep it balanced, and my sag was, I have no idea, could not have been right though. So I'm sitting there, I borrow a screwdriver from the dad next to me on the starting line, the mechanic next to me, and I'm tightening down my shock by hand, trying to get some tension on it, and then I hammer the keeper nut tight and went for it. Worked out for the LCQ, but then I was like, so pumped after making it in the motos that I just spaced that major problem until I was putting my helmet back on to go up, a quick
For
turnaround.
moto.
Yeah, 12 minutes to get ready. I'm putting my helmet back on, and then I'm like, shit, dude, like my shock is not right now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so we kind of played around with it. We didn't even have a sag tool, not enough time to set the sag really. So we just eyeballed it, wung it, and went out for the motos, and then it was just survival.
How did you feel it was working? Because I know I messed with my suspension for Amateur Days household. I dropped my forks down as far as I could go, and then I turned my rear shock up one whole turn, and that made the world of difference for how the bike would track behind you and how rough it was with all the stutter bumps in every rut.
So yeah, I feel like my bike was able to go forward well. I actually like when a bike sags in the rear more, just because I don't know why I like it, but that's just the way I like it. And but yeah, it definitely wasn't right. Like those braking bumps and acceleration bumps are something I've never really ridden before. I mean, they're just they're like 3 feet big.
Yeah.
You watch it back on TV and they're tripling them. They're pretty gnarly about it. And when the track gets that rough, those guys know to race the track slower, and they'll come into the corners slower, hit the entry of the rut perfect, and then they're shooting out of it with massive acceleration. And I was trying to just keep on their rear wheel coming into the corners, which is me charging, and then I would kind of bobble or be off balance for the rut, and then I would bobble, and then they would just accelerate out and be gone.
Dude, I can't, I was bobbling just riding the ruts I had on Thursday and Friday. I can't imagine it being deeper like I saw. Like, it was straight foot peg dragging.
Oh, there was a few ruts where you couldn't fall over. Like, you couldn't fall over because you could fall off your bike, but your bike would still be standing straight up.
Oh my God.
Dude, it was insane. And then at the bottom of those ruts, there's acceleration bumps and everything. Like, it's gnarly. You need good suspension for that stuff, and obviously brung what you brung, and I didn't bring the right equipment or didn't prep my equipment well enough, but it was still a dream come true, and I know what to expect now for next year making a national, and the pace that it takes and the consistency that it takes over the whole moto.
So walk me through Moto 2 now.
Moto 2, man, after Moto 1, I came back and tried to eat what I could, refuel my body, because I was pretty beat.
Yeah.
But Moto 2 was honestly just survival. I tried to latch onto the guys in front of me a little better, and which I did for about probably 6-7 laps, and then I had a small tip over at the bottom of Horsepower Hill, and then by that point the leaders were coming around, and you don't want to be that guy
just pulled out of the way,
doesn't obey the blue flag in your first national.
Yeah.
Fuck up Chase Sexton or one of those guys. So yeah, I was just in survival mode trying to make it through, but I think for making my first national and finishing both motos is an accomplishment in itself.
And you weren't it's not like you were 40th at all either. Like you were running like, decent pace for your first national.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I remember standing over there by the sand whoops and seeing you come through and like pointing it out to, all the homies and stuff like that I was with. And it was, dude, like I said, it was a magical experience to witness that for you.
Yeah. No, it was unbelievable. It was super awesome. It's a day I'll never forget. That's for sure.
So what can you do? And obviously they're factory riders and racing every single race, from supercross, super motocross to, the outdoor series, everything. But what could you do next year to be able to get more, on closer to their pace? Or
I think riding rougher tracks and knowing how to ride those rougher tracks would help a lot in the motos. And then obviously sprint speed during practice to make it into the motos from practice and not have to go to the LCQ.
Yeah.
That would help a lot. And then, you obviously have one less race under your belt during the day program to rest and be ready for the motos. So I think that those guys have an advantage doing that. And like, they just know the pace. They know how to ride those tracks better. I feel like I could run I'm not talking about like the top 10 guys, but probably like 20th to 30th. I feel like I could run their pace when the track's smooth, but they're able to do it all day long. Whereas I feel the braking bumps and acceleration bumps and the ruts and everything. I'm fighting the bike a little more. So I feel like if I was able to find a flow on that track during the motos, I would be able to hold my own. But so applying that during practice is hard because, it takes racing to really replicate that. But
yeah, no, I 100% get you.
Yeah. So, I'll keep doing more races. Next year I plan on doing Redbud, Millville, and Washugal.
Okay.
So hopefully by the time Washugal comes around,
and all three of those are like in a row too.
They're all in a row, so it'll be a long drive over to Michigan for Redbud, hit Minnesota on the way back, and then Washugal the following weekend.
Hell yeah.
If the schedule is the same, they might mix it up a little bit, but I feel that being on the track with those guys, riding against people that are better than you, obviously makes you better.
Mm-hmm.
So if I could continue what I'm doing, working on my technique, a little sprint speed here and there, and being around those guys on the track, then I would come into next year nationals more ready.
All right. No, that's a good way to go about it, especially trying to hit 3 in a row.
Yeah, that was kind of the plan this year, was trying to hit 3 in a row. Same thing, there was a family going over to Redbud and Millville this year, and they offered to take my bike and I could fly in. Flights weren't that expensive. It was going to be like the cheapest way to hit 2 extra nationals. And I registered for Redbud and was 20th alternate in the 450 class. So knowing that information, I wasn't comfortable sending my bike away for 2 weeks to potentially be able to ride Millville. So that's just the way it worked out.
So what does that mean by 20th alternate? That means...
So they accept 90 pros per class. So they cap it at 90 in the 450 class to try to qualify, 90 in the 250 class. So I was the 110th person to sign up.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so
even getting a chance to even ride practice or the Constellation LCQ.
20 people had to not show up. Yeah.
Damn.
I know. Which I guess 19 was the actual number after Jet got hurt before Redbud, but still, that's unrealistic. And then I wouldn't have been able to ride Old Timer Nationals or really be able to
get used to Washugal
and get some quality track time under my belt. So I feel like focusing all my attention on Washugal kind of helped this year.
Is there any other track on the outdoor circuit that, besides Millville and Redbud, that you would want to go try out one of these days? Like Lakewood?
Lakewood kind of seems appealing. The elevation would be tough, but all the bikes are a little slower. It's a little more even playing field. In the 450 class, all the bikes are fast. So
yeah.
But Lakewood would be cool. I did Hangtown this year. I really like Hangtown. Fox Raceway is a sweet track, but on National Day, it just looks so dry and sketchy and ruddy that it really doesn't look that fun. I think Hangtown was probably the best track of the year, honestly. Like the way they
That was
prepped
the
it.
opener, right?
That was the second round.
Okay.
But that was my first try making a pro national, and that one just didn't go well. Got a bad start in the LCQ, first turn crash, like
Oh man.
just luck, like we were talking about, luck being on my side for
Yeah.
Washugal. It was not for
Even as an
Hangtown.
amateur, you need luck on your side. Like I had some luck on my side, like with my starts, but I couldn't hold on for the full moto, and so I'd make a mistake at like really bad spots to make mistakes, like that sand section, and then it just threw away like my best positions.
Exactly. Yeah, and I feel like going into the LCQ at Hangtown, I kind of psyched myself out because I was riding up to the gate, and the 250 LCQ just went off the line, and I'm riding up to the gate, and I see a guy riding back to the parking lot with his front fender missing and his visor gone, and like obviously in a first turn crash. And then I ride past him, and I see another guy limping into the
Oh my
Alpine
gosh.
Star medic unit, and I'm like, all right, so there was a first turn pileup. Like, I kind of psyched myself out because I was more concerned about that not happening than I was concerned about getting a good start.
Okay.
And so going into Washugal, I was just focused on the gate, the gate. And I practiced on the grate, starting grate, 2 weeks before, and knew I could get good starts there. So just focus on myself, and fucking worked out.
Now, starting on a starting grade, how is that? Is that similar to starting on concrete?
No, complete opposite. So concrete, you spin.
Yeah.
You spin. You kind of want your weight, center of the seat, and you want to just kind of roll off the concrete. And then the starting grate, you want all your weight forward, and you want to hold that thing like damn near on limiter, and you rock it out. Like I ride a Yamaha, so the seat goes all the way up over the gas tank.
Yeah.
I'm sitting on the gas tank,
Yeah.
all my weight forward, and just
So it's like riding the grippiest, tackiest dirt start.
yeah.
I've never started on a starting grade, so
Yeah. It's that expanded metal,
yeah.
so it's nothing but traction. It's the same thing as like a freestyle ramp.
Yeah.
It's very, very grippy.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
It's pretty awesome, really. But yeah, I mean, it does kind of make everyone shoot out of the gate more equal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's good to know. I look forward to. I've never got to on amateur days at Washugal to make everybody start on the old start.
Yeah,
So
the
I've never got to do
amateur
this.
start.
Yeah, I've never done the pro start. So
Mhm.
look forward to trying that one of these times.
Yeah, the pro start's really cool. I mean, it's fast. It's super fast. I think that's why they bumped it up 30 feet, is because 30 feet less of acceleration,
Yeah.
but you're still coming in quick.
Mm-hmm.
So,
All right. So you had some people at your camp though, and some of them I have not seen in a long time.
yeah, so it was super cool with it being Military Appreciation Weekend. They did a veteran parade lap, and both my brothers are military vets. They both served in the Navy, so they were able to ride on the national track the day of my first pro national, which I am willing to bet that no other pro had one sibling out on the track, or let alone two. You know, like that's pretty unreal for both my brothers Diamond and Dakota to be on the track the same day as my first pro national. Like, that is unreal. I mean, you can't really write a story cooler than that. We've been through this all together, and for it to pay off, for me to make my first national and for them to be on the track the same day, like, that is super cool. I'm very grateful
I can't
for
imagine
them to be there. And
I can't imagine being a dad and how proud your dad must have been. Like, of all, like, proud dad moments, like, didn't he say, like, he had tears in his eyes, like, when he qualified even?
yeah, I know that probably had to be one of the better days of my dad's life. Like, that was
That's what makes it all worth it.
Yeah, for real. I mean, growing up, going to Clarkia and stuff, who would ever think that you're gonna have 3 kids on the track the day of a pro national?
Yeah.
And like, I never even went to amateur days until I was like 16, 17, it wasn't even in the realm. So it was unreal. Like, it was super cool, and I'm very grateful for for that moment, you know, share that moment with everyone.
So for them going on the track, and that was like in between, that was at like the intermission.
Yeah.
What'd they come back to the camp and tell you?
Oh, God, they were talking shit. They're like, I don't see what you're complaining about. The track's fine, blah, blah, blah.
Really?
And I was like,
What?
whatever. You guys know that track's fucking hammered. The track's not even close to normal. Like, that had to be the roughest track they've ever ridden. They don't ride all the time, so Diamond said that was like his first time riding in ruts. You know,
Really?
it was like, yeah, dude, those are real ruts. Those
Yeah.
are big boy ruts.
Oh yeah.
You know, I'm surprised they even made it around the track.
That's
Honestly,
what, that's what I was all thinking.
gnarly.
They'd come back and be like, "What are you doing to yourself?"
Yeah, that track was insane. But to have them there is awesome. It was awesome for them to be able to ride the track the same day as me. Equally awesome, you know. That's, I don't know. It's just like a once in a lifetime moment.
Are they still serving?
No, they're both out. Diamond is still living on the East Coast, so for him to be able to make it to the Washugal National, which is like that's a cross-country flight.
Yeah.
And then him flying back, there was that technical outage or whatever. The internet went down, and he wasn't able to fly back for a few days, so I actually got to spend some time with him here, which was really cool. Him and his son, Kit.
Yeah.
They came and hung out for a few days after the Washugal National, and it was really awesome. We got to celebrate a little bit and reminisce, and it was a lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah.
What about Dakota? Where's he?
Dakota lives in Spokane right now. He's moving to Arizona in about a month. Him and his girlfriend, or fiance, actually. So, yeah, they're excited to start a new chapter in their life, going down there. And,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't get to see Dakota when I was at your pit, but I saw Diamond. Haven't seen him in 10 years, and it was me and him used to race together, so it was really cool to see him.
I know, it is really cool. It was a family affair our whole life, really. My whole life, especially. That's pretty much all I know is going to Clarkia and hanging out with the people and riding dirt bikes and just
it's a family sport. You know, it's hard to do this by yourself.
Oh,
like,
it's impossible.
I know, personally, like I've done a lot by myself, and it's whenever I can get my dad or even my mom to show up to a race, like it means a lot. Even if I'm not riding the best, it means a lot that they showed up to support me.
Exactly.
You know, it
really does.
Yeah, you can't do this yourself.
No, it takes everything. Like the time commitment it takes from going to the track, riding all day, coming home, and then washing your bike, getting it ready to go again, and just everything that it takes a lot. It takes a lot of time when you're not at the track to even make it a possibility to go again.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I mean, big shout out to them for being there for it all. You know, it's really cool to see it pay off. I'm sure they were just as excited about me making it as I was. It was really awesome.
Is there any people you want to shout out? Any people that helped you get to Washugal or get this far in your career?
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I'd like to shout out my family, my dad, my mom, my brothers, all of them, kind of pushing me and supporting me growing up. All the people from like my hometown that kind of have been cheering me on.
Lewiston, Clarkston.
Yeah, Lewiston, Clarkston, Clarkia. You know, I grew up racing Clarkia for...
Shout out Fossable.
It's a
Fossable kid right here.
Yeah, born and raised, basically, dude. First time I ever rode a dirt bike was there. I grew up there on like a little four-wheeler, riding around the parking lot, and then fell in the creek jump a few times growing up. Like, yeah.
You're going to have to come back home, man.
Dude, I need to. I miss that place a lot. But, yeah, so I would like to shout out everyone that's kind of been a part of my motocross journey. And all my sponsors that I had this year, the Grims, they helped out a lot. They're like a family friend from Lewiston and Clarkston. And then I'd like to shout out. All right, I'm gonna fuck this part up. I got a list on my phone here.
You're good.
Okay.
Grab it. Yeah, I know you have a front fender that shows like everybody that backed you from like Hangtown to Washugal.
Yeah, so this year I knew going to these nationals was going to be more expensive than racing locally, and I've been supporting my own program by myself essentially for the last 5-6 years. My dad would help me out with bikes here and there, help me 50-50 on a bike or whatever it took for me to stay on good equipment. But this year I asked for help from friends and family on Facebook, and the amount of people that stepped up and were wanting to help was super cool. Friends that I honestly hadn't talked to in a couple of years just wanted to help me chase my dream, and it really meant a lot and made it a lot less stressful on me to try and do this and chase my dream.
That's awesome.
So those people are Darlis Wells, Abigail Cornish, my little sister, the Grimms, Shane and Linda, they really helped me out. And then Dirk Durham, he helped me out. Sakti Woodbury, a friend from high school. Savannah Shows, she's one of my friend's girlfriends who wanted to help out, and super awesome of her. John Donovan with TD Excavation, he helped out this year. It was super cool. He's been one of my longtime customers for motocross graphics. I used to make graphics back in the day. He was one of my...
Still rocking your own graphics at Washugal.
I still design my own, but he was one of the first supporters of me, and he actually helped me now on a personal note, and it was really cool of him to help out. And then the Walker brothers, Jared and Carson Walker, they helped out. They have a race team called Thundercats Racing, so I've been repping them this year. As well as Brandon Moore, he's a part of that as well. And then Jesse Barton, he's one of my good friends.
We raced together at Washugal. I know exactly who that is.
Yeah, he helped me out with a Recluse clutch, the torque drive clutch. Mm-hmm. My bike needed a new clutch, and he offered to help out, which was awesome. And then both my parents, my girlfriend Samantha, she helped out a lot, just taking care of a lot of the stuff that I
didn't have time to do at the track. That's what I saw.
Yeah, I mean, she was helping cook food, take care of my goggles, like all the stuff that just consumes time.
Yep.
And she kills it. She's awesome. I don't have to worry about that stuff, and she is there for motivation and everything. She goes to the gym with me almost every day, and it's super cool. So
that's important.
Yeah,
have that type of support, especially out here at home.
Yeah, it is super important. So yeah, those people really allowed me to chase my dream and make something of it.
So I gotta ask, how much does it cost to enter a pro national?
So it's $550 to apply for your motocross license every year. Okay. So, bam, that up front, and then it is $275 to enter
a race. Okay.
And then it's $70 per person to get into the pit. The rider, am
you don't
free.
get plus ones?
Nope, no plus ones. So they pay $70 for their weekend pass, and then...
But they're in the pro pits, though.
They're in the pro pits, yeah. So it's pretty cool, but still, I mean, you got 7-8 people, kind of adds up quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then food and fuel and everything, I think it was right about $1,000 to go to Hangtown and back, and just fuel, and then hotels and all that shit. It does add up.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Hangtown was right around $2,500 to go down there and crash out of the LCQ. It was kind of a bummer. Man. Luckily, Washugal being closer, it was substantially cheaper.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's still expensive. And yeah, all those sponsors really stepped up and helped me cover Hangtown, helped me cover Washugal, and it's been unbelievable. Like, it's been super beneficial.
Hell yeah, that's awesome.
To have those people around. Yeah.
No, like I said, it's important to have that type of support.
Mm-hmm. And not only them supporting me financially, like knowing that people are behind you makes you work harder in the gym, makes you not take advantage of track days. Like, you want to work on stuff, you want to be better for all the people behind you. So that way, when you make a national, it pays off.
Right?
Yeah.
As you can see,
yeah.
So speaking of it paying off, what does making a national pay?
The check just came through this week. It was $600.
Oh.
Yeah, so
all right. So you made something out of it.
I made something out of it. Yeah, I mean,
Nice.
more than some local races pay.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was pretty cool. It was some well-earned $600. That's for sure.
Dude,
Yeah.
it's fucking most suffering you ever had to put yourself through.
Oh yeah, for sure. I know. Yeah, that was probably the hardest $600 I've ever earned in my life. But but it was cool to see the check come through. Honestly, I forgot about purse money until like last week, and I looked up the purse money, how it pays out, and it said I was going to get $500 online, and then $600 hit my account, and I was like, hell yeah, let's go.
Nice.
So yeah, finishing both motos pays off, I guess.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, hey, I appreciate you inviting me out to your place while I was on this side of the state and getting to sit here and chat with you, man.
Yeah, dude, it's been awesome. We'll have to do it again. We'll have to plan it out a little better. I'll
Yeah.
hit some tracks with you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'd love to do a ride with you again.
Yeah,
Let me
for
get
sure.
you back to Fossville.
Dude, I know, it needs to happen. It'll happen soon.
Alrighty.
Sweet, dude.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.